All right, welcome everyone. We're Semblance of Sanity. I'm Caleb.
I'm Jacob.
And we're here for Ascendance of a Bookworm,
Season 2, Episode 7. All right, Lutz, you have gotten to a better place with your parents than you were before, as far as communication and everything, because, it really helps to have adults that come along and help out and help, be the go-between, and, when they're motivated by the fact that, it's actually messing up a lot of, very big movements in their spheres of influence, then you get that help.
Or adults reincarnated in becoming kids, trying to help in some ways. Mine wasn't really as helpful.
Right.
But she, instigated.
Yep.
Which led to things being where they are now. Mm-hmm. And now Lutz's parents kind of know a little bit of what he's actually doing.
Maybe they'll be a little more supportive.
Maybe. But he is also like a small child doing all this crazy apprenticeship stuff with a career in an area that they don't like at all. So, that'll be fun. But meanwhile, mine handles everything over at the church. And,
hopefully there's no, interference from the people that mean her ill over there. But we'll have to see.
Yeah, so y'all, without further ado, let's get into this.
ルッツの家族の問題を解決したマイン。一
Somehow.
方、マインの家では心配なことが起きていた。
Oh.
母さん、まだ体調戻らないの？
Oh no.
マイン？母さんね、
What?
お腹に。
Oh!
マインはお姉ちゃんになるのよ。
Ah!
私、生まれてくる子供のために絵本を作るよ。
Huh?
絵本？
そう、絵本。
All right.
Well, now, this is obviously going to take some time, fine, so we're going to get to that point where that's a thing.
Enjoy this, mine. For the next 3 years, you're going to be taller than a relative.
New retainers.
絵本？
絵本
Huh?
絵本とは
What is that?
これで3回目だよ。絵本は絵がついた子供用の本です。
本自体が
Yeah,
Why would we waste them on children?
it's almost like he said books are expensive as shit, you know?
何を考えている。
私、姉になるのです。
マイン様の下にご兄弟が
Incredible. I do not see how this is related.
ビルマを私にください。
フラン、
絵本作りには絵師が必要なので絵が得意な灰色巫女を
Okay.
Ah.
いただきたく存じます。
本当は自分で書くつもりだったんだけど。
But I'm terrible.
Ah!
君は身内をことさら大事にする傾向がある。神殿長に魔力を向けてでも家族を守ろうとしたい。
Okay. Yeah.
暮らしい言動と振る舞い、
Okay.
そして教養を身につけなさい。
教養？
ああ、音楽だ。
Music.
音楽は貴族のたしなみだからな。
Okay.
ふさわしい者はいるであろうか。
クリスティーネ様のそば使いをしていたロジーナはいかが
Oh, teaching her, like...
絵師をそば使いにするなら、音楽が得意な者もそば使いとして召し上げなさい。
Okay.
Oh, fun, fun.
からビルマだけそば使いにしたいと存じます。
大変ありがたいお話ですが、あの子たちの世話をする者が私しかい。
Oh,
Okay.
Yeah.
その話し合いの日。
新館長からの贈り物でございます。
Whoa.
わ
Oh,
ー
wow.
お。終わりしたら楽器がやってきたでござる。
フ
Yep.
ェシピールでございますね。
フェシュピール。
新館長はどうしてもマイン様に音楽
Very much so, yeah.
Okay.
君は料理にまで手を出していたのか。
開店前に一度は本当の貴族のお食事も経験してみたいのですが。
近いうちに昼食に招待し、
Another thing to make a mental note of.
Right.
Hey,
それで
yes.
ビルマを孤児院に残したまま、そば使いに召し上げたいということだったが、
Bro just has a constant headache just being in her presence.
ビルマしかいません。子供は体調を崩しやすく、夜中に熱を出すこともございますから。
Careful about how you make this request. He might just remove the orphans.
ビルマが孤児院にとどまるのならば、なおさらロジーナをそば使いにしなさい。楽器も準備。
Ah, yes. Yep.
出た。
It's important. Don't talk shit about the church.
音楽が必要なのはそれが貴族の教養だからだ。
それはこの間も聞きましたけれど、私は貴族ではないので。
Effectively, you are, though.
なく将来的に貴族と関わることになる。
And so you need to be able to fit
家
in.
族と離れるつもりはございませんよ。
Do you plan to never grow up then?
Right.
Whoa.
Oh, okay.
Whoa. Gotcha.
Okay.
While we're dealing with the fact that her mom is pregnant, bring this up.
Yeah.
Yeah. Damn.
Okay.
Okay. He's really thinking about your future in a positive way then. Yeah.
できる限りの教養を身につけます。
Okay.
それから新館長はお手本が見たいという私の要望に応えてフェシュピールを弾いてくれた。
Yes, musical playing instrument animation
Is
expensive and timely.
金融詩人なんて比べ物にならないよ。
青く高い
what?
Oh my god, yes! And this is the voice actor!
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
若葉光風香る命もゆる
So burns the flame of my life! Oh!
Amazing.
Subarashi.
おゆ歌を歌えば女の子には不自由しませんね。
君は何を言っている？
褒めたつもりですけど。
もうよい。君もやってみなさい。
今ですか？
She doesn't even know what she's doing.
これが一番基本になる音だ。
There's a million strings there. She's listening.
They're like, wait a minute, hang on.
So,
I like how they have the little bits of her messing up with the strings, though. Because even if she understands it, that doesn't mean she knows how to do it.
驚いたな。平民に一体どれだけできるかと不安に思っていたが、これならばものになるのも早そうだ。
right.
しまった。自分からハードル上げちゃった。
これから毎日フェシュピールの練習をするよ。
Yeah, if you pretended to be a noob, then he would actually help you.
でもよろしいのでしょうか。
読書の時間を取りなさい。
読書の時間だけは死守します。結局、新館長のお手伝いを減らす。
Hey, negotiations.
アイン様、お話があると伺いました。
新館長の勧めにより、ロジーナを私のそば使いにします。ロジーナの仕事は、私にフェシュピールを教えること。それ以外の時間は、他のそば使いと同じように仕事をしてください。よろしいかしら。
何の稲がございましょうか。フェシュピールは私が一。
Oh, cool, cool. So it's what
plays
gives her
several.
the most joy and everything, yeah.
個人教室に移ってきた。
フェシュピールが。
せっかくですから弾いてみてくださらない？
よろしいのですか？
ええ、お願いします。
では、フェシュピールを。
Oh,
Oh,
her.
she has one of her own.
なんか引っかかるけど、なんだろう。
Whoa.
私、心を込めてマイン様にお使いさせていただきます。
Spellbound.
Okay.
Yeah,
All right.
that was incredible.
アイン様、どうしたのテリア。ロジーナが全く仕事をしないのです。
もう、仕事をしないだなんて、人聞き。
I'm practicing my craft.
以外全く何もしないではありませんか。朝も起きてこないし。 そうなのですか、ロジーナ。
私の仕事はマイン様にフェシュピールを教えることですもん。
But you're gonna live here and not actually, like, do any of the other tasks.
の時間なの。話は後できちんと聞くわ。わかりました。
Okay.
Another day and...
ありがとう。
Yep.
私のフェシュピールも。
No.
昨日と一緒。
Yeah.
Yeah.
ロジーナ、
Yep.
なぜあなたがフランに
Yeah.
私はこれから新館長のお手伝いに行くので、ロジーナはデリアと水汲みをお願いします。
もう、何をおっしゃいますの？それは灰色神官の仕事でしょ？
Are you not wearing a...
Oh no, wait.
そこにいる見習いにさせればよいのです。
Is she not?
ロジーナ、私のそば使いを見下すような発言は許しません。
I understand the damaging her fingers thing, because that's like her entire livelihood, but...
様は青色見込み習いとして間違っています。
私が？おかしいのはロジーナの方よ。
デリア、
Hold on.
私は神殿のことに詳しく、
Yeah, explain it to
Right.
me.
ロジーナの言っていることが正しいのかどうか、全員の意見を聞いてから判断します。
Right. Feel free to explain it to me, but...
ルーマとロジーナの前の主クリスティーネ様は芸術をことのほかお好みの青色見込み習いで、
Okay.
芸事に秀でたものをそば使いとして、
そば使いの言葉は主の言葉だ。それが聞けぬそば使いなど必要ないので、孤児院に戻しなさい。
でも、そうなるとフェシュピールの練習ができなくなりますよね。
別のものを手配すればいい。
Okay.
But she's magnificent, though.
大変申し訳ございませんが、本日は失礼してもよろしいでしょうか。そば使い全員の意見を聞いて、話し合いの場を設けたいと思います。
Cool. Team meeting.
All right. Yeah.
Yep. Everybody.
貴族社会に戻られ、私も孤児院に戻されて、その時、今までの自分の境遇こそが特殊で、
Okay.
やはり、ロジーナだけが。
マイン様、できればロジーナにも自分を見つめ直す時間を与えて。
Right. The opportunity to be like, hey, that's not how it is here.
ビルマの意見は分かりました。ありがとう。
Yeah.
It also shows potentially why she wanted to help with the orphanage and stuff, because it's a way that she's not directly taking orders from a blue-robed priest and could...
私はマイン様にも、もっと芸術について造形を深めてほしいと存じます。
ロジーナ、以前と同じことを望まれても困ります。私のそば使いになるのなら、
That was part of the deal.
気を扱うのに手が大事なことは理解できますから、書類仕事はどうかしら。
書類仕事などしたことがございません。
You alone.
And I've never done the Heartspiel, so...
知らないこと、できないことはこれから覚えればいいのです。ギ
Yeah.
ルとデリアも私がそば使いになった頃は
Hit him. Hit him
Right.
with the facts, yeah.
頑張って書けるようになりました。けれど、最初からお仕事をしないという
That's not gonna fly here.
ロジーナ、私はクリスティーネ様ではないのです。孤児院に戻るか、この環境を受け入れるか、明日までに考えてください。
Get some time to think, yeah. Ooh,
Nice.
yeah. Yeah, thinking
she
back
learned.
then.
マイン様は努力すれば認めてくださるわ。
It's cool that they get to reunite, though,
Yeah.
after all this time.
マイン様のそば使いとして努力したいと存じます。
ほう、結局そのまま使うことにしたのか。
I wasn't expecting that.
書類仕事もするようになりました。まあ、フェシュピール引きたさにしぶしぶという感じですけれど。
Yeah, that's most likely it, but we'll use that.
練習の成果を見たいと思っていたからな。
Oh,
10日後ですか？
you're gonna
Oh, no.
perform?
それからもう10日。
Oh, no!
Alright. Not my tempo!
Yep.
喜びは
Whoa.
It's fantastic progress for 10 days.
よくできているな。
ロジーナのおかげです。
いいえ、 イン様が覚えが早いからでございます。
It's like you came in with like basic musical theory already understood at such a young age.
ビルマが殿方が苦手？
Oh.
てっきりそれでビルマが孤児院に
Oh.
ご配慮いただいたのかと。
Oh boy.
ビルマは以前青色神官に騙されて
Oh.
花捧げに連れ出されたので、
What a tame way of saying it.
幸い事なきを
No
得たので
other
す。
harm. Jeez.
それ以来殿方が怖いと。
Oh, poor girl.
Okay.
Just
Yeah.
learning the Harspiel, you know, it's noble
Right.
life and all that, and I'm just trying to protect you, and then suddenly, yeah. So we're gonna censor it a little bit by calling it.
Right. Yeah. Okay.
She was forced to offer her flower.
フェシピールの他にシングも贈られましたけれど、このような贈り物は貴族では当たり前なのですか？
マイン様を反省室で倒れさ。
Oh.
お詫びの品ではない。
Yeah, that was a gift.
このことは他言無用。
Silence.
本来シングは家族や婚約者、愛人に準備するも
なんでそんな誤解を招くようなことをしたんですか？
よく倒れるのにシングの準備さえできていない君が悪い。
Yeah,
贈り
yeah.
物されて怒られたよ。
Whoa.
Very pretty.
So
art.
pretty with the light and
Yeah.
everything.
Okay.
All right.
New retainers.
Yeah, new retainers, and we've got them focused on kind of rounding mine out until she's ready to fully enter the
Noble
world of
society.
nobility. Yeah.
Yep. And I like that we had the conflicts here because, with Delia and Gil, it's something where they're little kids, right?
Yeah.
So, of course, they're going to misbehave and everything. But at the same time, they'll also learn quickly because they haven't known anything else, really.
For sure.
Whereas here, these people do.
They've been not only with, other retainers like Delia has,
Yep.
but they've been with those retainers for a very long time. And while there, they had patterns that they built up.
Right. And so that makes sense that it would be something that would cause conflict for mine, but then also because they were specifically being brought in for skill sets that they have, that might make Delia and Gil not feel too great about the whole situation, right? Totally makes sense. I like that this is a way that we can just kind of continue to explore Mine's learning how to navigate this very complicated environment that she now finds herself in.
Yeah. Because in a lot of ways, our head priest here, he's really good at doing things subtly in that he seems to give her the baka, head chop, you need to get this shit under wraps. But then he also kind of does these little things here where he's like, hey, I am doing this to protect you, from entering noble society. And it's like, oh, cool, thanks, that's really sweet.
Yeah.
But wait. Why do I need protection before entering noble society? What is being implied here? I'm not implying anything. What are you talking about? I'm just being a good overall helpful adult in your environment.
My job isn't to explain this to you. It's more just to make sure that
you're getting it right.
Yeah.
Yeah. And we just had a potential hint as to one of the reasons why, in that the nobles really do not have any empathy for those that they consider beneath them.
And the whole thing of the the whole thing of courtship and the way that can often be very contractual and stuff, and the will you give us offspring and whatnot.
Yep.
But then to have there be a mechanical aspect to it as well, where if the levels of mana are dissimilar enough, they can't actually produce offspring. That's okay. That will make this even more complicated.
That makes this more complicated, but it also creates a society through which the lineage breeding kind of
is more like
contracts
inherent.
And stuff is mechanically built in a way that is more directly measurable than the weird other ways that we have in our world.
Exactly. Yeah. And it's kind of, it feels weird because with the cliffhanger that we had, that almost feels like it warrants way more discussion than the actual stuff that we got in this episode. Even though that's probably something that's just going to be explored in the next one.
I don't want to talk about the really fucked up thing here, but I kind of have to because it's what the episode is implying here. You know, with Wilma or Vilma having been taken advantage of by a noble, one of the things that was bookended with this episode is the subject of kids.
Yeah.
The idea that, well, mine's mom is pregnant.
Yep.
Woo, okay, awesome. It's a thing that's going to be, you know, physically taxing for this next season for her.
Yep.
So that's going to be, you know, just a part of her daily life and stuff. But the idea that, oh, Vilma probably didn't get pregnant. So these nobles have, because of them being magical and their gray robes not being magical, they can indiscriminately
They don't have to worry about bastards, basically.
Take advantage of these women, and there will be no bastards.
Oh, shit.
Yep. Yeah, it came to mind almost immediately when I was realizing, I'm like, wait, so she'd taken advantage of, and she watches after the kids, which is like her way of saying, like, oh, I have that, like, that kind nature within me of wanting to take care of kids. But then I was like, wait a minute, but wouldn't she have a kid? Oh, no, she wouldn't.
On the one hand, great, they don't have to deal with unwanted babies on top of everything else.
Right.
Fantastic.
Wonderful. But then also,
oh my God, yeah.
Oh God, yeah.
So, and here I was thinking, like, when the whole, like, the mom being pregnant thing got brought up, where my mind went is maybe the baby will have the devouring as well. You know, like
which it should realistically
happen,
from a statistical likelihood standpoint, because
it's so rare. Yeah,
it's about as rare as it can get. So I like that this episode kind of sets up the next conflict, which is that mine is, by her very nature, caught in between the world of nobility and the world of the common folk.
Yes.
And she can't really hop over entirely one into the other by her own physical nature at this point.
Yes.
She has magic. She has now been adopted into that world by surviving the devouring. Now, obviously, the devouring will be with her forever.
Right.
But as far as having a system by which to overcome it, she does have that.
Yep. She got farther than any of the common folk would be able to get.
Yeah. Which is extremely rare and probably has happened once or twice in the entire existence of this world.
Yeah.
You know?
And on top of that, it's not only that she's caught between the world of nobility and commoners, she's also caught between the world of children and adults because of her being reincarnated, right? And they very much bring that up, where it's she's always able to, like, do these things and just pick things up that, let's be real, kids wouldn't be able to do, even if they're well educated since birth and all that stuff, right? Like, you're still a kid.
They dedicate a lot of their life effectively to that,
right? And
that's the thing with kids, is that if you actually train them properly, you can become specialized really quickly.
Sure,
you'll see these genius chess wizards at like 6 or 7 years old, and it's like, yep, they are, you know, incredible, but they dedicated their life basically to that.
Right.
That's how they got to that point. And whereas mine can have like 27 things that she's dealing with, and it's all hunky-dory.
And so now, as she's starting to go into not just the world of nobility, but continue to go into the world of adults, right? Because up until now, she has been very lucky in that the adults that she runs into generally are great people and have her best interests in mind.
Pretty much, for the most part,
Even in the examples where they don't, like the guild master or the high priest.
Yeah.
I guess the high priest is the first one where is the worst example so far. But like even before the whole stuff with the church.
Yeah.
It'd be, oh no, the guild master is going to try and fleece you and you know, do predatory deals where he doesn't pay you as much as he could, you know, right? And it's like, oh no, and it's sort of like a joke, right?
Yeah.
Whereas now it's like no, this isn't stuff that you laugh about anymore, right?
You're a year or two out from having to deal with what Vilma had to deal with, as far as just being a threat, a problem, a potential thing you'll have to deal with. So, you know, head priest is basically like thinking far enough ahead that he's like, okay, you're already someone of great
import
here at the church. given how long I'd expect it to take for you to become a competent musician or to learn all this cultural stuff or to just adapt, I better get started now.
Right, because for most like people that are born into nobility, that stuff does start very early.
Yeah, and you're already locked in at this point.
Because
you don't have any issues. Yeah.
Because in a similar situation to Wilma and Rosina.
Rosina,
yeah. It's that's your whole job. To learn stuff and be educated and be, of high status and all that.
And even then, specifically for the women, it was probably just like, look pretty and, speak another language and know a musical instrument. This is some Jane Austen shit,
Right. And even if even if it's very demanding and there's all kinds of things that you have to learn and stuff to the point where it becomes a full-time job, whatever, all that stuff.
Oh no, it would absolutely be that, but it's
right. And you have not been doing that, Nine. You've been doing other stuff that's very
You're
cool.
on that grind for some money, but
right,
yes.
and for them books, But that's not going to help you in this new world, right? Not in the way that you would expect. So
in a funny way, you can't climb the world of nobility with money.
Because they all have it.
They all have it. It's more just a thing of like, oh, cool, maybe there's some slight hierarchy difference between lineage, money, and like a whole bunch of other things, and fame, and like, who knows who, and
if you really get a shit ton of money, then maybe that'll open some doors
to maybe where you can then get connections to get the things that then nobles would value.
Right. But even in the case of the guildmaster, who probably is the wealthiest person that we've seen so far,
he's not nobility.
No. And for his granddaughter, who he cherishes more than anything, and all that stuff, her basically big strat is, I'm going to marry into nobility.
Exactly.
And because I have a bunch of money and stuff, I'll be able to make that happen fairly reasonably.
Be somewhat desirable.
Yeah, but that's still the goal.
And it's also, again, another thing with regards to her having magic, too.
Right. Yeah, exactly.
And nobles take what they want, and they don't care about who they hurt in the process.
Right, exactly.
So
the high priest being
if you end up being
example.
wanted, basically, by a noble, he's basically saying, eventually I won't be able to protect you. And all these people that you've been counting on as being like, oh, these are good adults that can protect you there, they would all bend before a noble.
Or at the very least, you'll be outside of their reach.
Well, right, but thinking about it from this standpoint, he's been the noble that's wanted her this time. And he's gotten basically everything that he's wanted out of her.
Sure, yeah.
Like, obviously, they've done some negotiations here and there.
Right.
But this is a guy that's, like, extremely kind and has
exactly.
no interest in any kind of harm towards her or any kind of malevolence.
Right.
And it's still been like, I don't really care what any of those common folk want. I have supreme power here.
When uncomfortable topics are brought up in fiction, oftentimes it can be very helpful to have a layer of indirection, right? So that you're not actually you're making an allusion to something that's uncomfortable subject matter in the real world, but you have something else that you're dealing with, so that way you don't actually have to be talking about it directly, and that can also make it so that you can avoid little missteps if you're not doing it exactly correctly, because you're not actually dealing with the thing itself.
It's an unhelpful way to do it, potentially, because you have to address the parts of it that are uncomfortable.
Right, yeah, and maybe it breaks down after a bit because it doesn't line up perfectly. But in this case, this feels like them being after mine because of her mana and all that stuff.
Yes.
That feels like it'll be an effective layer of indirection.
Yes.
But there's that part of me that's like, I don't... Even with that, I don't know if I want to, this has been a very cute show, and I really want it to just sort of stay that way, right?
Right, and I think it will. I think the main thing is that it's the world of darkness is right over there. We can see it.
Right.
It's the point that Mine's ascendance is important throughout the show. And it's not going to be just important to save her life in the literal sense. It's going to be important to save her life from that world of darkness.
Sure.
And so I think that they can handle the children dying at age 6 because this society lets them die.
Right.
With then women being predated upon by older men.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. Just Delia's situation.
Delia's situation in general was a big foreshadowing hint for this.
Yeah. It's the.
It's coming. It's just.
It's the content check basically of hey, by the way, just warning ahead of time. Yeah. So
yeah, and I guess the other thing is that while there's not only a layer of indirection, but a layer of indirection in the verbiage being used, they are trying to be tasteful and I would say sensitive with regards to the fact that
both,
this is
both the story and the characters, because the characters are dealing with a child, right, and the story, well, it's
because of the tone, right. But hey, all right. That can be the conflict probably for the rest of the season. That mine is probably going to be, a few months out, to use the timeline basically of maybe her mom's pregnancy as kind of a gauge for how much time has passed. A also thing of like, yes, time is passing. So mine, you're growing up, and this is a medieval world, which means, unfortunately, there's not a lot of respect for the age of these characters after a certain point.
Oh no, this is very much making me think
Game of Thrones, have you bled yet, child?
Yeah, exactly. Well, and even then in the show they very much like tone it down and also like sort of draw attention to it more. Whereas like in the books it was very much something of just like, oh yes, and they're their wife of 11 years old, right? And it's just like what and it's just a sentence and then it moves on, right? And that's that callousness is part of how they communicate the world. The world, right? Yeah. Like, I'm now thinking of all the different ways that the High Priest could basically, like, go after mine indirectly in ways that there would be no, like, recourse for, because it could just be some, the
Head Priest is kind of a nice buffer for him.
Yes, exactly.
And so that's kind of what he's been doing.
Right.
And we just maybe didn't realize that it might have been so pointed of a protection, or it was a, hey, I'm just covering general bases and it's not that pointed.
Right, like you're a special case in that the fact that you're here is an exception, and so I have a vested interest in realizing that basically you might need a bit more attention than other people that work under me.
Oh, but wait.
You're still just one person that is here.
Oh, you know why this is, what's so,
What?
Because she's not actually nobility.
Right.
That's what the problem is.
Oh.
Is that if you were a noble, then there'd be protocols. There'd be like specific rules and things.
Well, but there'd be retribution if you fucked up.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. No, in this instance, she's literally not a noble. And the people in the church know that. The other Blue Robes know she's not a noble, and they know she has magic.
Well, and the magic is probably the at least the ace in the sleeve a little bit, because then there's the element of
she just chokes you out Darth Vader style.
Yeah, exactly. She almost killed the High Priest.
That's true.
So so she effectively entered into a prison and then fucked
choked
up
out
the
warden.
Biggest person there.
Yeah, the
right?
warden. Yeah,
the warden, right? And so
not just the person in the prison, but the
actual person running it. Right. And so
they're like, okay, all right, so we will not touch you with a 39.5-foot pole.
For now. Because the memory of that is still clear. But then also if you're going to a place where other people aren't aware of that.
Or just more magical people in general,
Oh, yeah, that's another thing, right? Yeah, like if
but if she can mask herself as a noble, then it's no. Then you'll just have generally decent young men coming in being like, hi, I'm so-and-so.
Right.
I want to do the courtship thing with you.
I initiate flirt protocol.
Right.
Exactly, right.
Would you like to see my mana levels,
Oh, God.
They are quite prodigious, if I do say so myself.
Well, that would absolutely, like, given that they had the whole thing of, like, for bearing children and stuff.
Yeah.
There is absolutely a, like, midichlorian count, like, literally matchmaking
where they
system.
literally, like, both put their hands into the Dune box, and then it's like...
Yeah. It's the parents.
Synced? Yeah.
It's the parents that basically do the arranged marriage thing. And it's you have compatible mana levels, right? Like you will bear strong children or whatever, right?
No, you won't bear children at all.
Right.
The idea though that there's like, this also felt like a censoring thing of like you just won't bear children. But no, hold on. Mechanically, what you actually mean
is that the child won't survive.
The child won't survive probably the pregnancy.
Right, or not long after. Yeah.
That's traumatizing.
Oh, yeah.
And that's what I interned that as. And I just didn't want to bring it up until the story confirmed it.
Or denied it or whatever.
It.
Yeah.
But it's the thing of where I'm like...
Well, and
but... You know,
there's
still the bodies themselves. Those are going to just do things.
And there's the elements of where, like, you know, anytime we
maybe
try
there's
and
no conception. I don't know.
Anytime we try and infer something that the story specifically did not say or contrary to what it said, we of course have to be careful about this. Right. But in this case, the characters that are delivering this information are delivering it to a 7-year-old.
Right. So they are trying to be.
They are definitely going to be using.
They're trying to be light-handed.
Exactly.
Opposite of heavy-handed. You know?
Right. Yeah. And that's kind of what makes this worse for me, I feel like, apart from the whole tonal thing, is because then I have to fill in the gap. I don't actually... I have to make it worse in my head in order to get at what they're probably trying to communicate because they're...
Or we just be patient and wait.
Yeah, exactly.
But yes, I get what you're saying. But all right, y'all, that was a fun episode. We learned a little bit more about this world. We got new retainers.
We did.
They are a little bit on the older side compared to Delia and Gil.
Yep.
But not necessarily that much closer to the age of Fran, which is fun. But yeah, more retainers means also just more fun characters surrounding mine in general.
Right, exactly.
I love her
soldiers for her ascendance.
Oh, that's true, but also just having her get more fun people to talk with that have different personalities and experiences and such.
Yes.
Given how much of a force multiplier it is to have mine interacting with anybody, just boosts her abilities in this world.
Right.
She's just like, ooh, yes, absorb like a sponge, you know?
Yeah.
Anything she can. But yeah, musical stuff. And then, also, the head priest voice actor getting to sing.
Oh my God.
That was such a gem. I know that, treasure.
Okay, all right. I know that the way that the show is framing it as like a serious, like cool thing and everything.
Yes.
That was just the funniest shit that... The idea that it's like, oh, hey, we get Eisen serenading, you know.
He's typecast. It's the whole deep voice.
Well, right, but it's so opposite typecast, you know. Right.
That's my point, is that because he's so typecast, that it just, when he sings, you're
oh my God. It's like...
I know your brain goes to it, too. You got to hear Josh Groban sing to us.
Right, exactly, yeah. Of course he can sing well. He's Josh Groban.
Of course he can, yeah. But, yeah. Great fun stuff.
Yeah, I was definitely thinking about that.
I thought so. All right, y'all. Thank you so much for watching this episode's reaction and discussion. If you want to see the next episode's reaction and discussion right now, though, go check out the link in the description below for our Patreon. You get on early access there. You can watch full-length timer reactions there, and all this comes with Discord access, so you can chat with us in the community there about this show, about anime in general, and also be sure to check out our Twitch channel. See if any of that interests you, we'll see you there. But until then, we're Semblance of Sanity. I'm Caleb.
I'm Jacob.
And we'll see you all
next time.